Closed captioning is brought to you by Aaron Saxon Associates.
Right now at 5, the mayor of Carthage calls for employees to come forward if they are aware of targeting by police.
And we've got ourselves a calmer day out there, a bit breezy. We're going to take a look at last night's storms and what we can expect as you head out the door this morning coming up.
And plus, we'll learn about an $18 million proposition on the ballot in CJ to fund school improvements.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. So last night,
yes,
we had those, throughout yesterday afternoon and evening as well, we had those severe thunderstorms. And this was one of those systems where it had been on the long-range data for several days ahead of it. And we knew it was coming. We tried to give you guys the warning as best we could, and we got a lot of damage reports.
Safe out there.
So hopefully everyone did heed the advisories from us earlier in the day saying, hey, you need to be prepared. Hopefully you were prepared. But I do know, again, we got a number of damage reports. We do have some video of damage from outside of Carthage that we're going to show you here in a moment. But first, I am not interested in these two things. Now, let's take a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. That's where we're going to start. All right, now, we have a few isolated showers out there, and that's really about it. Getting quite a bit of drizzle, but of course, as we've mentioned, the drizzle really doesn't show up so well on radar, but we are getting some drizzle across the area, a little bit of patchy light fog as well. Take a look at this system. We talked about the fact that we're looking at that 2-round possibility. We ended up with 3 total rounds of thunderstorms, 2 of which were severe. That was round 1. Round 2 was severe, and round 3 was strong to severe as it rolled through the area. So talk about a powerful system. Number of tornado warnings, even in our area, and some tornado reports out there. So we're going to start with the official reports so far that have come in, and these are going to be revised through the day. They'll probably be revised over the next couple of days, especially with any tornado warned storms that rolled through yesterday. So I do recall yesterday, as that storm entered Joplin, the Joplin Airport Automated Weather Station started firing off severe wind gust alerts, rapid fire out there. I think max of 72 mile an hour wind gusts out there. And we had some hail as well. We head up to the north into Cedar and Dade counties. We had some wind damage reports. A lot of these are tree limbs down and minor roof damage. And we did have some hail reports. Thankfully, we didn't see the giant hail in our area, but we did still see some large hail. Number of hail reports through Chautauqua County into Montgomery County. Wind damage reports around Coffeyville and Caney out there. And then we head south into Oklahoma. And this is the one storm. This is the storm that ultimately triggered the tornado warnings near Carthage and ultimately did put down at least a confirmed tornado here into northeastern Oklahoma, south of Bartlesville and immediately south of Lenapaw. And then put down a confirmed tornado near Fair Grove in Greene County, just north of Springfield out there. We also got a fair amount of rain across the area, so upwards of 2, even 3 inches in some locations. So some much needed rain, especially in some of the harder hit areas by the drought over the last about year and a half now. Some much needed rain out there. Now the good news is we are considerably calmer right now. We're sitting at 52 in Joplin, 49 in Pittsburgh. Technically, we've hit highs in the upper 50s about 3 hours ago. Our temperatures are going to hold steady into the upper 40s, low 50s, and eventually begin to fall out there. Temperatures around the region, here's that frontal boundary sliding on off. So take a look, though. Monette, Cassville, 60 degrees. Anderson, Bentonville, still in the upper 50s out there. But back behind that, we're in the upper 40s and low 50s out there with that northwest wind. Kids, get on the bus this morning, 49. We're going to have a few stray showers out there still. North breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour with those otherwise cloudy skies. As we end the afternoon, still cloudy, breezy, northwest wind gusting upwards of 30. Temperatures falling back to about the mid-40s by this afternoon. So again, we've technically already hit our highs. We're otherwise going to kind of balance about the low to mid-40s. We'll be cloudy, and then we'll start to see those skies begin to clear later this evening across the area and eventually clear out as we head into our Wednesday out there. That is a check of your forecast. We're going to take a look at your 7-day forecast, which at least over the next several days looks a lot better with that full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Now, as we mentioned, that storm damage in Carthage shortly after 9 p.m. Monday evening, reports of a radar indicated tornado were announced. At the Carthage Square, multiple roadblocks were in place. As you take a look at this, numerous roofs were blown off buildings and windows blown out. Power is out to various areas all over the town. As of right now, there are no reported injuries, and the city is asking that people avoid the area. This is a developing story, so we'll stay posted to our website for updates. And don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the KOAM Skywatch weather app. A crash yesterday afternoon has claimed the life of a Miami, Oklahoma teenager. Investigators say 19-year-old Seth Hull was driving a car that ran in a stop sign at the intersection of US 69 and East 110 Road, a mile west of Miami. A semi-truck hit the car and Hull died at the scene. There were no other injuries. The mayor of Carthage, Missouri is asking city employees to come forward if they believe they have been targeted by police. Mayor Dan Rife says this call stems from allegations by Councilmember Tiffany Kosey. Rife also says he gave Kosey a deadline of 5 p.m. last Friday to further explain the allegations so an outside investigator can be brought in. But Rife says she did not comply. There are whistleblower protections for employees in the policy manual. There's also discussion to add the ethics policy of the city. The severe weather pushed back last night's scheduled Joplin City Council meeting. In a news release, the city says it made the decision after the National Weather Service announced a hazard weather outlook for the Joplin area. The meeting is now scheduled for today at 6 p.m. with the informal council meeting set to begin at 5:15. And today is election day in Missouri and Oklahoma. Voters in both states will head to the polls to fill various local offices. In Missouri, polls open at 6 a.m. In Oklahoma, they open at 7. Polls in both states will remain open until 7 p.m. You can find more information about the elections on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com/elections. Carl Junction voters today will decide whether to fund more than $18 million in school improvements. KOAM's Anthony Saviello takes a look at Proposition Kids.
Carl Junction School District says they hope to make some improvements throughout their schools. A vote on Proposition Kids on April 2nd could make that hope become reality.
Is really just a widespread issue that covers a lot of things that have been on our list to tackle for several years, that now we can get them all accomplished all at once.
The bond does not increase nor does it decrease the current tax levy. The bond would extend the tax levy set to expire in 2034, another 10 years.
That's how we keep updating our buildings, keeping our buildings safe for our students. In 2044, if this school district, I'll be long retired by then. If they think they're going to pay their debt off in 2044, I'm going to be knocking on the door, because that's how schools keep their buildings safe for their kids and up to date for their students.
One of the biggest impacts the passing of the bond would be on the school athletic program. The current baseball and softball fields, as well as the practice soccer field, would be upgraded to turf. Chelsea Leggett is the Carl Junction archery coach. Over the past several years, her program has grown. If Proposition Kids passes, she says her athletes will finally have their very own facility to practice in. Superintendent Cook says the bond would also allocate funds for additional projects.
Has some safety issues all across campus, where we'll put a film on all of our entrances that'll help protect if we have any kind of danger that comes in, an intruder or storms, and some HVAC and some roofing things and other renovations.
While the school district says they are confident this bond will improve their facilities, the decision will lie with the public vote on April 2nd. Reporting in Carl Junction, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Pending voter approval today, construction is slated to begin during the summer, with completion scheduled for the start of the 2025 school year. Now to look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. 2 track and field standouts from Girard signed commitments to join 2 of the top programs in the country at the Division II level. Plus, authorities in Texas announced a major drug bust involving drug trafficking and money laundering. And we have a cooler and windy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Your complexion. New Excellence Nudes by L'Oreal Paris. We're worth it.
High school track and field season just beginning in Southeast Kansas. Yesterday, two standouts from Girard signed commitments to join two of the top programs in the country at the Division II level. Girard High School seniors Brandon Bishop and Gabe O'Neilio signed their national letters of intent yesterday to compete at the next level. Bishop is joining Pitt State's track and field team, and O'Neilio signs with Adams State cross country and track. Those are each two of the top programs in Division II athletics, and these two Trojans are ready for the challenge.
I went over there, and I love the facility. It was really nice. All the coaches were good, and it's one of the best programs in the country, which led me to my decision. It's just a good program. I want to be a part of it and get better there.
Competition causes you to rise to a higher level, so being surrounded by people who want the same things as you and value work ethic and that sort of thing, I just think it's great for bringing the best out of yourself.
Major League Baseball season is less than a week old. Both the Royals and Cardinals lost their first series of the year, but have a chance to turn things around. Royals play their first road game of the year in Baltimore against the Orioles. Bobby Witt Jr. gets things started in the third inning with his second home run of the season. Just 4 games in, Royals lead 1-0. Lead doesn't last long though. Bottom of the fourth, Ryan Mountcastle hammers this pitch to left field and gone off Michael Wacha. That ties the game at 3. We're going to stay tied into the bottom of the 9th. 1 out, runner on first. Jordan Westberg drives on deep into right field off Nick Anderson. That's gone for a walk-off 2-run homer. The Royals lose in heartbreaking fashion, 6-4. The final in Baltimore. Things looking much better for the Cardinals, though. They get another series full of late starts on the West Coast. The Cardinals win this one over the Padres, 6-2. Over to women's college basketball, national championship rematch in the Elite Eight. LSU facing Iowa. This game was all about Caitlin Clark. You see her get blocked in the first half by Angel Reese, who comes up limping. The game is tied at halftime. Clark heats up in the third quarter. Hawkeyes up 3. Clark sidesteps, buries it from deep. Moments later, she's going to drain another 3. And still in the third, how about another step back 3 from Clark? Part of a 15-3 run. Iowa goes up 9. Fourth quarter now. Clark gets her 9th three-pointer of the game. She scores 41. Iowa takes down defending national champs 94-87. Hawkeyes move on to the to the Final Four. Well, still ahead, we'll see why health officials and the CDC are monitoring a second case of bird flu. And we'll have another check of your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
The Creative Learning Alliance invites you to Celebration Eclipse viewing in 6 days.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 5:18 now on this Tuesday morning. So after a very rough night, we are calmer. We've got some showers out there and some drizzle. Not necessarily showing up on radar, but it is out there. 52 in Joplin right now. Northwest breeze at 17 with some occasional gusts upwards of 24. Here's that cold front as it slides off to our east. So ahead of it and right along, it's still a little warmer. 60 Monette and Cassville, 59 Bentonville. And as you head back to the north and west, where we're behind the front, the winds have already shifted. We're in the upper 40s and some low 50s out there. As we get our morning started, again, a few isolated showers and some drizzle here and there. Otherwise cloudy, and the winds are really going to start to pick up again as we head through the late morning hours. And as you can see, our temperatures are kind of falling through the morning. So we actually technically hit highs in the upper 50s about midnight, 1 a.m. But highs today, the best we're going to muster is about 50, and then they're going to fall back into the mid 40s, and they're going to kind of hover out there for us. So that's what we're looking at. Again, we've already hit this, most of us. Now, we just showed you temperatures. Monette, Cassville, you're hitting your highs now, and your temperatures will fall through the day as that cold front rolls through. We are cloudy, breezy, northwest winds gusting upwards of 30. And for the afternoon, we're going to hang out roughly in the low to mid 40s out there. Then as we head into the evening and overnight hours, the skies will begin to clear. And of course, you know what that also means. The clouds act as a thermal blanket, kind of keeps some of the warmer air in. Well, as the skies begin to clear this evening and winds remain a bit on the gusty side, we're going to fall back into the low to mid 30s tonight. So do be prepared for that. Another pretty chilly one out there as well. But again, at least the skies will begin to clear a bit for us. The good news is, at least for the next several days, it is relatively calm compared to what we've seen. So again, breezy today, breezy again tomorrow, mid 50s, sunny skies, maybe a stray shower or two in the morning, but I think for the most part we are dry. We will remain sunny heading into Saturday, and take a look, temperatures are going to warm up nicely back into the 70s by this weekend, and we'll see some additional shower chances as we head into next week. Temperatures hanging out in the 50s and 60s by next week as well. That is a check of what's been going on. We're also I tell you what, we're going to skip ahead here a minute, and we're going to take a look too at some of our storm reports from last night, just real quick, because this whole system, we ended up with 3 rounds of thunderstorms last night. The first round came through as expected in the late afternoon, evening hours. It had some severe weather associated with it. Round 2 had severe weather and some tornado warnings associated with it. Round 3 had some severe weather and severe thunderstorm warnings with it as well. And multiple rounds of storms. Now, one storm out of northeast Oklahoma tracked out of Oklahoma and along this path and went almost due east along 96 heading into northern Greene County. So survey teams will be out today making assessments of damage along that same storm path, because that same storm did produce confirmed tornadoes in northeastern Oklahoma and in northern Greene County. So that's the storm that prompted the tornado warning for the Carthage area last night and points off to the east. We have wind damage reports in Carthage and in Carl Junction north of Joplin. The Joplin Airport automated station started firing off wind gust alerts for severe wind gusts. I think the maximum one was 72 miles an hour. Heading up into Dade and Cedar counties, wind damage reports mostly tree limbs and tree branches down out there, and some hail also to the south of Jericho Springs. Back into southeastern Kansas, hail reports with that first round of severe weather that rolled on through out there, and wind damage reports around Coffeyville and Caney. And we head into northeastern Oklahoma, and that's that same cell that ended up generating a tornado warning near Carthage and points east. Dropped a tornado near Bartlesville, crossing 75, and then south of Lenapaw, confirmed tornado report with that as well. So a lot of severe weather yesterday. Thankfully, much calmer today. That is a full check of your forecast. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
You can't afford dental implants? Think again.
Go ahead and smile.
Topping Health Watch this morning. A Texas woman has filed a lawsuit after she was charged with murder after having a self-induced abortion. Lizelle Gonzalez is suing prosecutors and Starr County for more than $1 million. She was arrested and charged with murder in Starr County in 2022 after using abortion medication to self-induce an abortion 19 weeks into her pregnancy. According to the lawsuit, the then 26-year-old spent 2 nights in jail as her name, mugshot, and private medical information made national news. The charges were dismissed days later. The arrest took place months before Roe v. Wade was overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court, and at a time when abortions after 6 weeks were illegal in Texas. However, pregnant people cannot be criminally prosecuted for their own abortions under state law. A few weeks ago, a Kentucky man was lying unconscious in a hospital bed as doctors told his family that he didn't have much time to live. That was then. Now this is now. He is now proving everyone wrong and hoping to help others do the same. Evan Leake spoke to him and shares a story of determination.
These days, the gym is like a second home for Jerron Adams.
I used to do 6 days a week, but now I've got it down to 3. I do every workout that it takes someone 6 or 7 days to do in 3.
The results speak for themselves. Duran takes great pride in his physical fitness, especially given the road it took to get here.
Walking's a little, different. Anything really using my right arm, I have about 21% of mobility in my right arm.
He just is a miracle. He's a good kid, but he's just a miracle.
Miraculous that Duran is talking with us today. In 2018, he was in a bad car wreck, putting him in a coma, not expected to survive.
As a parent, when you see for the first time your kid is hooked up to all these machines and not knowing if he's going to live or die, they told me within the next 24 to 48 hours, you need to think about pulling the plug.
Duran lived, but he has a traumatic brain injury, which 50,000 people die from every year, according to the International Brain Injury Association. He was never expected to walk or talk again, but as you can see,
usually I try to crank out 2 sets of 25. I'll get one.
Duran destroyed those odds.
I just look at it like it's a random part of a movie. It doesn't feel real to me. It just pushes me forward to get better.
It led to Duran's Journey, a nonprofit bringing awareness to traumatic brain injuries and supporting those living with them.
I turn around every day and complete 2 or 3 things that I was told I'll never be able to do. Then other people should grasp from that, look, I can do it too.
Helping others carry the weight, lifting them past the loneliness of a traumatic journey.
Adams has no memory of the incident or much of his recovery due to short-term memory loss. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And after a stormy night last night, a little bit calmer today, still a few showers and some drizzle out there. We'll have another look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Beauty is something we can create right now at Floor & Decor.
Right now at 5:30, yesterday was the deadline for free FAFSA applications. We'll explain the frustration for some local students.
And after a loud night of severe weather across the area, we are cooler. We're going to be breezy today, but at least the weather itself will be calmer. We're going to recap last night's storms and get the look at that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, Friends of the Joplin Public Library open a new chapter on their annual Spring for a Book fundraiser.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:32. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. So we obviously had 3 rounds of thunderstorms last night, each round severe.
Yes.
We'd been talking about it for several days. It did arrive. Yeah, we tried to give you as much notice as we can. Obviously we can't predict exactly where a specific situation is going to happen, but boy, it was a loud and long night for sure. Let's take a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker real quick. Now, right now, we've got some drizzle, some light showers, and a few more showers off to our northwest out there. Thankfully, no thunderstorms, no severe weather at this point, nor are we expecting any of that. But the last 12 hours of radar loop, we can see the 3 rounds of thunderstorms that we got yesterday. The first round came in the late afternoon and early evening, and it rolled through, bringing severe weather. Round 2 brought tornado warnings along with it, and even some confirmed tornadoes. And round 3 brought additional severe thunderstorm warnings across the area as well as we went through the evening and overnight hours. So a very busy night, a very rough night for some folks out there. A lot of storm damage reports across the area as well. Joplin Airport, I think maximum wind gust it reported was 72 miles an hour. There's some trees down around right in front of that shopping center there at Stone's Corner on the roundabout. So wind damage reports there. Obviously, wind damage in the Carthage area as well. We've had some video on that and mainly on the square and other parts of the community. National Weather Service weather teams or survey teams will undoubtedly be out today making assessments because this storm that generated the tornado warning that started right around Carthage and then pushed east did generate confirmed tornadoes north of Springfield and into northeastern Oklahoma. Same thunderstorm. So they'll be out assessing the damage and seeing what happened out there. Wind damage reports into Cedar County out there. Some hail reports south of Jericho Springs. Wind damage, Caney, Coffeyville, mostly again tree limbs down across the area, and hail reports out there in Chautauqua and Montgomery County. And then as we go into Washington and Newada counties in Oklahoma, that same system, that's what we were talking about, that same storm, a couple of confirmed tornado reports out there as well, and a fair amount of rain on the order of 2, even upwards of 3 inches out there. So some much needed rain received across the area for us, especially some of those more intensely drought-stricken parts of southeastern Kansas. Still need a lot more rain to make things better, but last night certainly helped. 52 in Joplin right now, 49 in Pittsburgh. We've really hit early highs in the upper 50s, even low 60s, as the cold front was about here early. And as we take a look, cold front now shifting off to the southeast. Temperatures, Monette, Cassville, we're in the 60s. They're falling quickly. The rest of us, upper 40s, low 50s. Kids getting on the bus this morning, 49. A few showers, north breeze 5 to 10. Otherwise cloudy, breezy, gust to 30, 44 when that bus brings them home. Temperatures will eventually just kind of hover right around the mid 40s heading into the afternoon. We'll see skies begin to clear later this evening. Well, have another look at your forecast and the calmer weather pattern that's on the way for us here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, yesterday was the priority deadline for the free application for federal student aid, also known as FAFSA. But students and universities have seen months of delays after the Department of Education overhauled the previous system. The form was delayed from October to late December, and families reported multiple bugs and issues with the form. The delays are cutting into the time many universities need to make financial aid packages for students ahead of the upcoming school year.
So we are seeing some results of students applying already. However, we have systematic programming changes that have to be made as well. So it's a little more difficult for us to get award packages out to students as quickly as we normally would because everything is delayed as a result as well. So we're hoping to get those out later this spring.
Missouri Southern's financial aid office recommends students and families come to them with any questions they might have about filing out at the FAFSA. Well, friends at the Joplin Public Library opened a new chapter on their annual Spring for a Book fundraiser. The event coincides with the National Library Week, and the funds raised during the event will go toward purchasing new books to add to the circulation, specifically for the library's Lucky Day collection of high-demand books. The library's director had plenty to say about the importance of the library as a public resource.
To read is always important. Getting people to come into the library and utilize, not only our books, but our other resources are vital too. So in addition to books, we also, we have meeting rooms that people can book. We also have passport facility acceptance services. You can get your passport here. We have, our Library of Things collection where you can check out a pickleball kit. You can check out puzzles. You can check out any sort of thing, that you just might want to try out or have for a short period of time. So the library resources are very important.
The fundraiser runs from today through Sunday, April 14th, and head on over to KOAMnewsnow.com for more information. A ribbon cutting in Carthage yesterday celebrates the opening of a new center for family fun. It's called G3. It has bowling, an arcade, a playground, a ninja tag course, and trampoline, with plans for mini golf and go-karts in the future. Visitors can buy individual tickets, and the facility can be booked for parties and other events.
Really impactful and going to bring so much to our community. The future is bright right here in this corner. All of the plans that the Garrisons have planned for this development. This is a destination where everyone's going to want to come and check it out and bring your family and have a lot of fun.
Now, G3 has actually been open for a month, but held its formal ribbon cutting ceremony yesterday. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. There is new evidence Russia may be behind a mysterious traumatic brain condition affecting hundreds of Americans. Plus, a Russian court orders a detained Russian-American journalist to stay behind bars for 2 more months pending a trial. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
TV is sponsored by Aaron Sachs & Associates, proud partner of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Topping World Watch, authorities in Texas announced a major drug bust as well as the arrest of 41 suspects allegedly involved in drug trafficking and money laundering. The wide-ranging investigation, which went on for more than 5 years, was codenamed Operation Rainmaker. The U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Texas, Alumdar Mamdani, says the CJNG, a Mexican crime syndicate, was behind the operation. Amandi says 16 of the suspects are still at large. They're believed to be in Houston, Mexico, and Laos. A Russian court orders a detained Russian-American journalist to stay behind bars for 2 more months pending a trial. Alsu Kremashevi is an editor for the U.S. government-funded Radio Free Europe Radio Liberty's Tatar Bashkir service. She was taken into custody on October 18th and charged with failing to register as a foreign agent and also with spreading, quote, false information about the Russian military. She holds dual U.S.-Russian citizenship, and she lives in Prague with her family. And Radio Free Europe Radio Liberty says she could face up to 10 years in prison if convicted. Well, there is new evidence Russia may be behind a mysterious traumatic brain condition affecting hundreds of Americans serving abroad. Chief National Security Correspondent Jennifer Griffin has an update on the possible origin of what is known as Havana syndrome.
Essentially, this is an act of war.
In an explosive new report, 60 Minutes, The Insider, and Der Spiegel found new evidence that hundreds of U.S. government employees complaining of sudden neurological symptoms known as Havana syndrome may have been attacked by Russia with a weapon using directed energy.
It was like a high-pitched metallic drilling noise, and it knocked me forward. I immediately felt pressure, and pain started coursing from inside my right ear, down my jaw, down my neck, and into my chest.
One of the things I started to notice was the caliber of our officer that was being impacted. There was some angle where they had worked against Russia, focused on Russia, and done extremely well.
Pull over! This car chase near Key West 4 years ago provided key evidence, handwritten notes of bank accounts, a device that can erase the car's computer data, and the driver's Russian passport. Receipts link the suspected attackers to a Russian military intelligence hit squad, GRU Unit 29155.
Certain Russians were in the exact vicinity of attacks in particular countries.
Victims like Adam, who uses an alias and was thought to be patient zero after experiencing crippling auditory sensation that left him unable to walk or move while working undercover in Havana in 2016, responded with relief.
They pulled out receipts from the GRU 29155 group, which explicitly outlines that these are weapons systems and a weapons program.
For years, he and other victims have felt gaslit by their former agency employers.
The intelligence community's broad assessment that a foreign adversary is unlikely to be responsible for these incidents.
The Pentagon has now confirmed a senior U.S. Defense Department official sought medical treatment for symptoms of Havana syndrome at NATO's Vilnius summit last summer.
And that's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 6:47 now on this Tuesday morning. Much calmer out there for us. It's breezy and it's cooler as well, but no severe weather to deal with this morning. Our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. We've been getting some drizzle. We've been getting some light showers out there. Of course, drizzle doesn't really show up on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, but roadways are still wet out there. MoDOT camera 32nd in range line, looking pretty good as well. Again, aside from some drizzle and some wet roadways. And we got some drizzle, wet roads also on the KDOT camera, 69 East 520th Avenue, of course, just south of Pittsburgh. But again, all three of these views are considerably calmer than where we were yesterday evening. We're at 52 in Joplin, some light showers out there. Northwest breeze at 17, gusting to 24 miles an hour. Visibility is at 3, so we do have some fog, some haze from the drizzle. We're not seeing significant visibility reductions at this point, but just do be aware of that out there. Cold front now shifting out of our area. Not long ago, Monette, Cassville were at 60. Their temperatures falling, starting to join the rest of us out here behind this front. Northwest winds and temperatures into the upper 40s and low 50s. Now, because Monette and Cassville were still at 60, they were the prime example of we technically hit highs in the upper 50s at about midnight 30. But otherwise, the best we're going to muster through the morning is 50, and temperatures are going to gradually fall back into the mid 40s out there. A few isolated showers, breezy, northwest winds gusting to 30, otherwise cloudy and cool and breezy today. It'll be again hovering right around the mid 40s as we head into the afternoon hours, and as we head into this evening, skies will begin to gradually clear by late evening and overnight. And of course, without the clouds as a blanket, it does get a little colder tonight, falling back right around the mid 30s out there. And we're going to be breezy still, winds gusting out of the west at about 25 miles an hour. Now, those winds are going to start gusting upwards of 30, 40 miles an hour tomorrow out of the northwest, but there's got sunny skies in place. Sunny all the way through Saturday. We're going to go into the upper 50s by Thursday, 60s, 70s heading into the weekend. We head into next week, got some cooler temperatures showing up again. We also have some additional much needed rain chances out there Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday across the area. But all in all, a much better looking forecast and much calmer than what we went through yesterday across the area. That's a check of your forecast. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Are you game? Brighter future for all of us. Are you ready to join Team TFI?
Some kids in Canada set up thousands of Kraft mac and cheese boxes only to knock them all down. They're trying to set a world record, all the while helping out the local food bank.
A very well-intended attempt to set a world record for the largest single-serve food box domino topple.
We got 13,000 boxes and we're gonna donate it to the food bank after we do the topple dominoes with it.
Putting box after box, and then we go back and knock it like this, because every box has to be exactly one box apart.
As fast as possible, but try not to knock it over.
My topple team, as I refer to them as, they're 11 and 12-year-old students, elementary school students, but they're so eager, the 12 of them, to come and make this a reality.
Had to do a little bit of domino practice at recesses.
I've knocked over twice.
I knocked over once.
We leave a gap of 3 boxes, so if something happens and it gets knocked over, the whole thing won't not be knocked over.
The community really turned out and supported us and provided us with about 7,000 boxes. But then we kind of hooked up with the Kraft Heinz Canada people, and they were so excited about what we were doing. They gave us an additional 5,500 boxes on top of what we had raised as a community.
Mr. Fox likes to take 3 students every week, right? Yeah. To the food bank, and we get to help him, and so this is just amazing too, and it's just great helping out.
All of the food gets donated to the local food bank. It's all going to a worthy cause. It's all going to combat food insecurity here in Saskatchewan.
He's gonna pick names out of a hat, and then whoever he picks is the person that gets to knock it down. It's gonna look amazing, and it's gonna be so much fun to watch, and I'm just so excited.
The group contacted the folks at Guinness World Record, and they're now reviewing the group's submission. We'll be right back.
Bad boy mowers are built for the renegades.
Flash Eclipse and join in the activities.
A new study suggests dogs can understand that certain words refer to specific objects, so they may understand words in a similar way to humans. Researchers said it offers the first evidence of brain activity for this comprehension in a non-human animal. In the study, 18 dog owners said words for objects their dogs already knew. Then the owners held up either the matching object or a different one while EEG measured the dog's brain activity. Scientists observed a difference in the brain activity in a majority of the dogs when they were shown an object that matched with the word compared to one that mismatched. The author said the resulting brain activity was the same as those produced by humans in similar experiments.
And we're much calmer out there today. A few stray showers, maybe some drizzle out there as we head through the morning. We've already hit our highs. We're going to gradually fall back right around the mid-40s across the area. Otherwise, we are cloudy and breezy. Northwest winds gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour today. Again, early highs. Best we're going to muster is 50, and some of us, and we really technically hit highs in the upper 50s at about midnight or so across the area. Cloudy skies otherwise, hovering in the mid-40s, and we'll be breezy through the day. Now, as we head into the evening, winds let up a little bit, and they'll pick back up again overnight. However, our clouds will begin to clear. Mostly cloudy by 6. We'll start to see mostly clear skies by late evening and overnight, but of course, without the clouds as that thermal blanket, it's going to be a pretty chilly one out there again as we fall back in the low to mid-30s across the area. Not too warm tomorrow, but better mid-50s, sunny skies. However, we're going to have northwest winds gusting upwards of 30 to 40 on our Wednesday. Upper 50s Thursday, sunny skies through Saturday, warming up as we head into the weekend. 70s out there. And then we'll start to see a few shower chances Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday across the area. And of course, our temperatures bouncing around a little bit, but otherwise, not bad over the next several days. That's a quick check of your forecast. We've got a whole nother hour of the KOAM morning news, and that's coming up right after this.
Wade's RV wishes you great adventure and safe travels.